Good evening. Welcome to the Groves Hill Township Community Recreation Commission meeting, March 22, 2012. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, looking at tonight's agenda, are there any additions, deletions, or changes? Otherwise, need a motion?
Paul, I would like to add if you guys would see fit, the grant application that needs to go to the board. We've talked about it at several meetings that we're going to go for the Recreation Passport Grant. And that'll be due...
For the skating resolution?
Yes, and that's due April 2nd, but we want to have the board go over it on Monday night. This grant doesn't require a public meeting, it just requires discussion at a public, at a township board meeting, or our meetings, and then finally at the township board, but no public hearings required with a passport grant.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Can you
say a motion? Please.
To add to the agenda, the Water's Edge inline and outdoor skating resolution to be brought forward to the township board.
You got a packet?
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. So we have Bill, can I get a second?
Second.
Ethel. All right. Any other changes to the agenda?
We need to add the Officer Porcelli is going to talk about surveillance at the police gate under the chairperson's report.
Okay. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
John? All right, any other additions, deletions, or changes? If not, I'm going to add the two agenda items to it. Can I have a motion to approve, please? Say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. All right, approval of the minutes for February 23rd, 2012. Any changes, additions, deletions? Otherwise, need a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Ethel, Bill second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Public comment, 3-minute limit on non-agenda items. Anybody from the public who would like to make a statement? Okay, moving on. Chairperson's report. The Playscape Officer, or Chief Porcelli, Ann, take it away, please.
I met with Officer Porcelli the end of last month to discuss Playscape.
Chief Porcelli.
Chief Porcelli, and to discuss possible surveillance at the Playscape and just what goes on there, and so he's going to give us kind of a summary of what he thinks would be best at the Playscape. Thank you.
Good evening. What I'd like to do is give you some of the facts. We met a couple weeks ago, as Ann stated. We also had a meeting with the Police Commission. We also, 6 months ago, Wally and I and the Commission met on a separate meeting. What I wanted to do was just come here tonight and give you some facts, and I realize it's your job to figure out if you want to put money into this Playscape, possibly move the Playscape, look at some alternative funding areas. So that's up to you, but I just think it'd be important that I came and gave you some facts that maybe some of you didn't know about and some of the things that were going on there. First off, I'd like to tell you what I did is I looked into a security system to put in there. And without getting into the fundamentals of how this works, and to tell you the truth, I'm not an expert at this technology, but what we did is we looked at the same type of system we have at the Commons. The Commons, where they meet on Sundays and have concerts and that, and a lot of people do attend that. We were getting hundreds and actually in the thousands of dollars worth of damage there. So since this is I'll call it, for lack of a better term, a public park, we put in a security system there that the police department paid for, and it was just under $5,000. Since we put that security system in, it's cameras, it's motion sensors. If there's a sensor, if there's any movement, the sensor picks it up, and it actually focuses in on it. It's kind of a neat system, and we've had no damage, and it's been about 2 years. We have not had one claim of damage. They were damaging the benches, graffiti, the sprinkler heads. so on and so forth. So I looked at the same kind of system, but when we went back to the playscape, there's some major problems there. Number one, there isn't any lighting at night, and these cameras do need some kind of light, be it ambient light. They don't work that great on just the moonlight, but you can still see something, but you can't see faces. Another problem that they have there is the electricity that's there. The third problem the gentleman told me, and again, this is coming from our person that does all the security, the expert in the field, not myself, that I didn't realize that the signal going from there to the police department into our server is blocked. It has to have a bridge connection, which has to go around to the pole on Macomb and Meridian, and then to the police station. So that's some added costs. The other and the main issue back there for why a security system wouldn't work and a camera system is that the height of all the wood structures, you would have to have 4 cameras. To put 4 cameras in there with this bridge system is over $5,000. Now, we looked at that, and Ann and I talked, and I'm not sure what your plans are for the future there, but that was one area that we're going to try and curtail some of the problems. Well, then I've been asked, why would you want a security system back there? And maybe all of you didn't know exactly what was going on. I'm going to try to be as blunt as I can, yet I'm not going to describe everything exactly how we see it. So I wanted to let you know of the underage activities that are going on there. To me, this isn't an opinion. This is just a recipe for disaster when you have a place in the woods, not lit, not secured. We can't see it anymore. We can't see it. We used to have the police station where the post office is. Obviously, we're gone, and the people at the post office don't look at things. I don't expect them to look at things like we do. We used to walk out of our building on Macomb Street and see the playscape and the kids, and it was all open. Everything was there for us to see. It was. We could keep an eye on it 24 hours a day. Nobody was back there at night because we were always there in the police station. So some of the things that are occurring there, and this is the truth, there's underage drinking, there's underage other things going on. I mean, there are things that I don't want to say I was shocked because I've dealt with this for so many years, but when you put a place again away, it just seems to breed this type of activity because there's nobody there to watch them, and that's just the way it is. I think Tim could speak on all the different, from the bee problem to the wasp problem to having it sprayed all the time.
Constantly.
To we're getting calls about injuries. When I mean injuries, minor ones of like the slivers and the things of that nature because the splintering of the wood, it's older, and that's just the way it's going to be. There is all kinds of other problems that this area breeds because of what it is, how old it is, and where it is. There is not much, when we got together, no gentleman that's here, one of our police commissioners, Bob Zalesko, walked it back there, we looked around, we met on it separately. Is $5,000 really, and that's the minimum, that's the start. I would say it's probably closer to $7,000 to put the correct system in. Would we be able to see what's going on there? Not really, because the view of the structures. You'd need so many cameras in so many areas, it really isn't feasible to do that. And even this expert told us from EOS Systems is who we use for all our security, internal and external in the police department and in the jail. I'm not sure that throwing this kind of money in to curtail something, and I have to be honest with you, it's a fact. I don't see the balance at the police department to put in that money. Now, the Commons, I see people there every Sunday in the summer, and they're there, during the week, and we're just hanging out or sitting, taking a break. They use that a lot. That I could see the balance, and it's not like I don't care where the kids are, but that balance for that area, for your other problems that you're dealing with, you're not just dealing with a security system issue. You're dealing with, again, the drinking, the goings-on. Would it curtail it? Hopefully it would. Would it stop the bees? No. Would it stop the injuries? No. Would it stop, the graffiti? Maybe. It might. But that balance to me right now, and for what my budget is and what my money is earmarked for, and just about 100% of my federal and state forfeiture drug money, that's money, just to explain real quick, that we take in from our narcotics unit in seizures and the trail of money and bank accounts that we seize we put in a fund. You can use that fund only for law enforcement purposes, not wages, fringes, or benefits, which means items. So this would fall under that, and it absolutely would. It would fall under that. At this point, the balance isn't there. The comments, I believe, were there. The use of the comments was so great by so many people that I just believed it was there. The other end, and I know I'm taking up a lot of your time here, but one area I just want you to think about, and again, I'm not trying to give an opinion, but I have to look at it. If you're looking at another area, possibly to put this playscape, if you're looking at a new area, possibly getting a grant, it would probably be in the best interest of what I do. I don't know if it's the best interest of what you do and what the people of Grosse Ile want. That's separate. But in policing it and taking care of it, and even Tim, obviously he has to have a guy go over there and wash the graffiti off or paint the graffiti off, and he has to spray it and so on and so forth. I don't know if you've looked into putting it, just as an example, I'm not pro or con, but say at Water's Edge, where there might be room to put it or someplace else to put it in an open area where the kids can go, the moms can feel safe that the kids go there alone. If they're too young, obviously, the parents take them there. But it's in an open area. There's a couple different areas on Grosse Ile. At this point in time, again, I have to be straight up with you. I don't think I'm going to be putting money into something that I don't think the balance is there, that's all. And I'm not negative. I mean, I saw what these guys and ladies did. They put this playscape together, I think, in the early 90s?
91.
Okay, I watched them build it from the back of the police station. And look, I realize I wasn't there helping. That's true, and it's easy. But sometimes when you look from outside the box in, you get a much better view. There's things that are in your heart from inside the box. Same example, and I'll be very quick, the middle school. I was junior high when I went there. The junior high, you know, they're going to tear it down, and everybody thought, oh, well, we loved it. Well, my kids now went through a beautiful school. You know, they went through a beautiful school, the grounds, the school, everything is nice, the atmosphere is nice there. It was a good thing for the kids. A lot of people didn't want to see a new school go up. But sometimes, and I say to people, you have to live in the time you're living. This is outdated. It's old. They're built differently. The flooring, or what would you call it, the base of it, that's
Right.
made by that rubber. That
It's the wood chips, yeah.
Yeah, there's a new system to help, and it's for the safety of the kids. So if you look at it, it's really not the safest type of playscape because it's older. And again, I understand these people really, they did put a lot of sweat and their heart into it when they built this. But that can be done again. We can have another fundraiser. We can, I'm at that point, and I know people were looking for me to, you do have some extra money. At this forfeiture money is great. We have a phenomenal narcotics team out here. That's all there's to it. But I just don't believe at this time that I feel it would behoove anyone to throw money at that and not think it's going to be thrown away. If there's a way I can help for the next one, if there's a fundraiser, I'll be more than happy to step up for you and help you out, do what I can for you. And I don't know if there's maybe the possibility of some funds. Again, it's regulated by Washington. And any major purchase that I make, I go through Washington, D.C. it is, and they okay it or deny it for this type of money. But maybe there's something, I don't know, maybe there's something I can help out in another way. If I could put money into something like this, as opposed to putting money into the camera system, I would do that for you. I would do it for the kids. It's the best resource we have out here. I'm not thinking of me. I'm not going to go to Playscape. It's the kids going to Playscape. So it's not about us. And they're our greatest resource. And look what Tim has done down at the rec department, all the things we have down there. Possibly we're going to get a skating rink down there. And then we already have a skating rink, but inline and a winter rink. You got the basketball court, the volleyball court. Maybe there's room. I don't know. I'm not trying to put my nose into where you should put things, but there's other places that it could go. I think that it would benefit. That part of me is the opinion. The other part are all the facts, and as a group, you guys are going to have to make that decision. But there are just more things going on there, believe it, than
One
then
more
you
thing,
know.
Joe. I know that you said when we met months ago, a lot of resources spent for you guys, this part to go down there to visit, correct? It's still...
Oh, we still have a special attention check. We have special attention checks in the summer and winter, and actually all year long, like the schools are one, and, you know, the Ferry Road Trail in the summer is one, you know, back and forth when our motorcycle detail is out. The trail right here on Meridian, that goes back to the soccer field when our motorcycle detail is out. These are things they have to go to, and it has to be logged on their daily, which they do, and they mark it, and they show it, and we're still going to Playscape. The problem is, you know, we just went back there, 3 weeks ago. Kids are there, they hear us coming, they ran, I don't mean to laugh, but they ran through the woods, and I'm going to tell you, these kids aren't going to get caught by some of our officers, you know, this is not going to happen. And they run through the woods, but they leave what they were doing there, because they didn't want to carry it with them. And sure enough, if you want to call it contraband or alcohol and a couple other items, I mean, it's for real. And yes, we still go back there, but are we stopping it? It doesn't stop it. They hear us coming. They know when we're coming. There's no way to sneak in that place. You make noise no matter which way you go in. It just doesn't happen any other way. So hopefully you'll take that. And again, you're the decision-making body of the group, and I'm just here to tell you what it is, and maybe there's some things you didn't know that was going on there. And, you know, I guess 5% of this talk was about my opinion, but I just see that there's a lot of negative to it from my side, that's all. So you take that and
Anybody
whatever you
have any
think.
questions for Chief?
I'd just like to thank you for all this information, and I hope people on Grosse Ile are out there listening, because there are a lot of people who don't believe these things go on Grosse Ile.
Well, they do, believe me. And we're not immune from things that occur.
John, you have something?
Yeah, Joe, do we know how many visitors we're getting there per week or month or anything like that?
I
don't have anything on that either.
Yeah, I'm sorry, John, I don't have anything now. But I do know this, that in the summertime, there are the junior high, I call it junior high, the middle schoolers, that age group is the group that's there. And there's a lot of them sometimes. You know, they're not, we go back there, we see them, we don't, obviously, they're just hanging out, they're having fun, it's not a big deal, but we do see large groups of the middle school, definitely, in the summertime.
Yeah, the farm is much more popular now than the Playscape. All ages. Yeah, most of the families go to the farm now.
That top lot there, what do you
Yeah.
call that,
They take in the whole farm atmosphere.
yeah.
Anything else for Chief? Ann?
No, I'm good. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you, and I just
Thanks,
hope
Joe.
it gave you some information that you may not have had, that's all.
Appreciate you all, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, update on the question center operating agreement. I reached out to Tom Assorti, our township attorney, and it is still in his hands. Nothing has been settled. I have not heard anything since I talked to Tom. Have you heard anything?
No, Dale was going to follow up again.
This is already now, we're going to be going into April now. I know it was brought up at the trustees meeting, but right now, it's still with Grosse Ile Township Attorney. Any questions on that?
Yeah, why?
The last thing I heard is that it's about the apartment. And somehow with Michigan law, that it needs to be separated somehow if whoever's staying in the apartment, that if something happens, that they do something that doesn't affect the equestrian center, it's just the apartment dwellers or something, and they can be evicted without having anything to do with the Lutons. This is my belief. Isn't that something like that, right?
I don't know particular details, once again. The two attorneys were supposed...
You haven't talked to him, right?
No.
This is what I got, yeah. Any other questions? All right. Grosse Ile Parkway, East River Road ending. O'Connor, Rooney. Tim, what do you got for us on that?
Nothing real major. I know Trustee Cantz and Dale will be providing updates at the board meetings with this item. There was a meeting this week where myself, Chief Porcarelli, Dale Ream, Trustee Cantz, and representatives from the Conservancy and the Historical Society went over a bunch of items, on signage and plantings, and they'll have more detail later, but they wanted to get those two groups in and discuss items, because they're very near and dear to that whole project, with the location of the Historical Society. But Dale and Peter would be able to touch on it a little better than I would, and they will at township board meetings.
All right, my understanding is, though, they're going to start doing some improvements down there. The stairways, stuff like this, right? Eagle Scout project, stuff like that, is that going to happen?
I don't think that's finalized yet. There's still a lot of preliminary. They're going to have another work session on March 31st, and I know they want to look at the retaining wall and the cement foundations and take a look and see if those are tied together and if some of that can be used to, hold the embankment up. So but they'll have more detail, but nothing of great detail and planning is set yet. They're still gathering a lot of information, but getting closer to doing something.
Are you getting an opinion about what, is it basically going to be just like what they want to do at Stout or something like that, or?
No, I don't think it'll be like that. I think there'll be some similarities, but it's going to be a little more involved as far as the use, not heavy use, but I don't think they've come to a final conclusion yet on that. They're still working. They took all the information in during the study sessions, then they met with two key groups that are real involved in that area, the Conservancy along the river, the plantings, the Historical Society, and all the historical impact that could have, and it's got to be done right, because in that meeting, the Historical Society talked about some pretty exciting, unique things to that location. I'm sure they'll update the community on that as they work together.
Any more questions on that?
Well, there is, at the last board meeting, the young lad, Ames was his last name, I can't remember his first name. He did get an approval from the board to pursue working with two entities to see what they can do to generate the walkway down to the beach area.
Yeah, no plans yet, but working on kind of like a mission to get...
They had a drawing that was done, and in pursuant of that, he's going to work with Mans and one of our construction people to see what they could do, put it together, and their projected cost was around $2,000 is what they're projecting. That depends on the feedback this young lad gets. My mic isn't working. The feedback that he gets from this, but the board did give him the approval to move forward. Gary Ames. Well, that's his dad.
I just know it's going to end up in the record, but yeah. All right. Any more questions on that? All right. The inline outdoor skating rink fundraiser. Oh, passport application. I thought that we had the agenda, but why do we have the agenda?
We want to recommend it to the township board.
Okay.
The resolution, I don't know if you want to read it or...
All right, well, one big thing we're going to, as far as the inline outdoor skating rink, okay, we have a community group getting together, and they're doing fundraisers. They're going to be having a golf outing. I believe it's going to be sometime in September, and it's to help to fund the skating rink over at Water's Edge. Tim is also going to be doing applications because we got the $50,000 Wayne County grant. He's putting in the passport grant, which is what we have right here, Tim, right?
Right.
So this is, the in-depth thing is what we want to go for. We have a letter, a supporting letter from that community group about the monies and what they hope to achieve. It's more or less a matching grant where you see here the matching funds, get the dollar amount. So the passport grant, you're going to go for the $25,000, that's what you're going for?
Right, with the passport grant, once again, it's the new one that debuted last year. When you buy your license, you can put money into the passport, and most of those, especially communities our size, are going for like $15,000 to $25,000 grants, smaller projects, so they can cover more of the state, and the more money they generate, they'll keep expanding and maybe going for larger projects. But like Walt said, the rink is going to cost about $100,000. We got our grant from the county, which is $50,000, and then we have between an equipment in our budget $2,000, and the community group has raised about $8,000, so we're at $60,000 right now. So we need to raise about $15,000 more. So in this packet, I have to put in letters of support if we're going to have more match money. And I don't know if you remember, we went to the board in the past, and they wanted to make sure that money was there. Well, a key part of this grant, if you look at it, is you have until October 1st to get your money. They're not saying you need it at the time, but we have the support letter. We're within 15,000. We've got one big key fundraiser. There'll be more. We also have the Hockey Association that's not committed anything yet, but right now they have a plan to apply to the actually the Canadian
Bank of Canada?
Bank of Canada. But last year they had about 10 grants they gave to the U.S. and really hotbed hockey areas in the United States. And you know Detroit is hockey town, and the suburbs are big on hockey. So they're pursuing that, and I'll be sharing information. I had to write a letter of recommendation. Deb Ketcher for the Michael Horton Fund had to write a letter. Didn't have to, but gladly did, because they're going to go out for that. And then we have a lot of in-kind help and a lot of support with our temporary rink, and I think we'll get that same thing. So there's, if I can go over it real quick. The first part...
One more thing I want to add. There was actually a dollar amount, say 25,000. He could have went for less, or he could have went for more. And you're just going for something like something where you think we would have a better chance, right?
Like Riverview went for a fishing pier. Raines helped them with that, and that was about $25,000. Most communities our size are 25 or less. But I think we've got a real strong application. The first part of this is all the requirements from the DNR. And I thought it was good for the commission I made a copy of it, just to give you a background on how detailed even going for $25,000 is, and the kind of proof you have. Then section 1 would be the applicant narrative. They want to know what this site is, what it means to the community, who it serves in the surrounding area, what's on that site, is it really truly a public recreation area, and then what the project actually is. So when you go through it, it seems like a lot of, why is Tim going into all this detail? They do look for that if you look at the booklet that they give out. So towards the end of the application narrative, you see the actual project. I actually have to put in the budget, the capital improvement, the operations, and then regular maintenance, and break that whole thing down for our entire budget. And then the second section is you have to have a site plan, and you'll see that the diagram has now changed. Do you have a copy of that, Walt?
Pardon me, do I have a copy of what?
Maybe I should put this up here just quick. I'll turn that down.
No,
Okay, after going around and around after several months, we really need to relocate the volleyball, especially with the water lines, things like that, maintenance equipment getting through. And you'll see that the rink is now next to the bathhouse, with still room for bleachers. And you'll see that the ADA parking lot that we're getting through block grant that'll be put in May is now centrally located to the pool, the basketball court, the pavilion, the proposed rink. So it's really coming together, all of our plans for that site. And I think with the parking lot there, that's going to be very handy. One thing I did is over at the Westfield Center, I know it's mainly a senior center, they have, right up next to the building, 13 ADA sites. So if you look at our area over there, we have a swimming pool used by everybody. You have the basketball court. You have the pavilion. We have graduations, weddings, community events where all ages come. You have the golf course, and that's connecting everything. And I still don't think 18 sites is that big of a deal. People look and go, wow, but it is centrally located now to the site, and we'll still have 4 or 5 up by the restaurant. So if you have any comments on that, but I really think that is the setup if you want to keep that water's edge. And then you have to provide where it's located. You have to make sure, you have to provide the boundary areas, a little more detail there. Do we have control of the site? We provide that. Capital improvement, you have to show that it's in the master plan. Well, it's been in the last 3 or 4 master plans. And does it show, and on page 4.1, it shows the community supported it in the plan. Action plan, they want to make sure that you had this in your plan, you budgeted for it, and pages 512 and 513 talk about, remember we did separate site plans for the farm, Water's Edge, inline skating's right there is one of the priorities. And then you have the action plan. What year are we supposed to do this? 2012. Here we are. Did we have money to do everything last year? No, we try to do as much as we can. We're in tough economic times, but we're staying with the plan. Some things get done, some don't, based on resources. So it's got to be organized, well thought out, and they'll look it over, and I think it's a very strong application. And then Section 4...
You mentioned anything about the Wayne County grant? You got two, right?
Yep, in Section 4, we have to show documentation that we have a match. There's a letter from Lawrence Hemingway saying that we were awarded the $50,000, half of the project. And then the letter from the Michael Horton Fund, Deb Ketcher. And you'll notice that there's $8,000 that's kept in the township in an escrow fund. And then she's very conservative, but she's talking about our fundraisers. I told you we need about 15. If we succeed on what we really think that outing can bring in, we'll be above that. And then we can do some other things in and around the, those, the basketball court and the volleyball and the rink. Related to the rink. And then the budget. And then what I'll be doing tomorrow before I give it to the board is do the site photographs. I have several that I can use, but I didn't run those off tonight. And then at the end of the packet, they have a checklist of everything you need to have in there, otherwise they'll throw it out. And we have everything except the photos I have to run off tonight before I give it to the board. But then again, we'd still have till April 2nd after the board approves it to make any tweaks or changes. So if there's anything that we need to bring up Monday night to the board, I could do that. My biggest fear is, I think we've had some opportunities in the past where we had a 9 to 10 month leeway where we could raise the money, and we missed out because we didn't have it the time we went to the board. And during those tough times, they didn't want to take a chance that, is there any money coming in? Obviously, the overall budget and the rec budget haven't shown that a lot of money's come in, but I think we do have a very good group that can raise that $15,000 from now until October 1st.
All right,
So
any
I'd ask-
questions to Tim?
Yeah, I have, what effect on filing for these grants and the monies that we are planning to use here? I think what I'm hearing is that we're hoping to do this at no cost to the community.
Well, like I have about $2,000 I was going to buy some equipment from in our budget that's been budgeted. The community's going to go out and help us raise the funds. The board could choose if they wanted to add something to it, they could. Say, hey, here's the 25.
Okay, will there be a charge?
But I'm not saying they're going to do that.
Do we charge for the pool, we charge for the golf, we charge for the use of a lot of things? Are we going to charge for the use of this as a sports pass or something?
No, all those are drop-in, but we do run tournaments, things like that, where we can charge.
Right.
Yeah. They're pretty familiar with any kind of baseball diamond they fund or volleyball court, you name it. They know communities are going to run tournaments and have entrance fees for those. But generally, if it's sitting there in a public park, you can go use it. If it's not being used by another group, you wait your turn.
This is to help get those kids out of the playscape area.
Well, that's, unfortunately, most of them don't play sports, but not the ones we're talking about. Anyway, my last question would be, the filing for these grants, will that have any negative effect on our pursuance to put a non-motorized launch at Water's Edge?
No, I think it's
game.
we could have used this one to go for it, but we just don't have all our ducks in a row for the launch. I mean, we've had so many discussions, like I've told you, in different locations. I'm always searching for matches like this because we haven't been able to find it within the community.
So
We're trying to get volunteer help, so I'm still on the watch, and I've mentioned a couple of those to you, but I haven't heard back yet.
But let me just tell you about this passport grant. This is something they were even doing last year because actually it's been very successful with the licensing. They've been getting a lot of money as of just wait for people to go to the parks and pay for the money. With the passport thing, they've been actually having a surplus, am I correct? Because they did it even right up, I want to say, last summer about the passport grants, what they've been doing. So this is not just a one-time thing. The passports, with every driver's license,
We're hoping for it to grow pretty big. But right now, they're trying to do as many small projects to impact the entire state, rebuild the public recreation.
Well, $100,000 is not a small project, and I don't think that the community would want to sacrifice this in lieu of a kayak launch that we've been trying to do for 15 years. So it's not making sense to me.
Well, the reason it makes sense, when you work on these projects, you try to gain a consensus from all the different groups, and we really haven't had the support. We very seldom have, the Parkway, Pam had said that's amazing, since I've been here, that's amazing. I couldn't believe how many people got along on a waterfront project. We have a hard time doing, I've been with the Rec Commission when they looked for boat launches for the last 20 years, going around to different sites. It got pretty tough. I don't have any problem with that, but when it comes to the waterfront, it gets very tough for the Rec Department to get something through. We need partners. We just can't do it ourselves. I think the Water's Edge site for a kayak launch is extremely close right now. We just need that little bit of funding.
But now let's break down this for you, Bill. Okay, $100,000 for the project, right? We've already received $50,000 towards this
I don't have a
project.
problem there. I just don't want this to affect what we've been working on for 15 years, and that is getting on this island a non-motorized launch.
If I would have had a match for the kayak launch, I would have brought that forward.
Because you're talking about $50,000, and that would have covered the cost of the most elaborate kayak launch that you can buy.
But I want to...
My personal opinion is I thought this would impact more people in the community at this time.
I want to disagree, because this kayak launch has not been worked by this commission for the last 15 years.
Oh, yeah, it has.
No,
That's according to Tim.
for the last 15 years, we have not been
It's
working
been-
on
We've worked on boat launch, the boat launch. Yeah.
It's been on the plan for 10 years that I've been here.
the non-motorized, right, with the whole seawall and the whole thing, which got mixed right with, what, almost
The
4 years ago.
non-motorized launch has been on our plan for 10 years.
Right, like I said, Bill, it's been on there, but do you see how many people come out for the inline skating and ice hockey? I mean, they raised about $3,000 every single year for the last 3 years, plus they go and erect it, and...
Back up. To be clear about this, is when we do our master plan, it's everybody's wishes. We get the insight from everyone from the community of what they would like to have, okay? Okay, right. So to say that we're working on it, I once again, I disagree. We didn't get in-depth into it and actually have people come out until last year, right? To get actual...
Being very conscious about it, taking our surveys, having our public meetings, it's always come up. But the interest has been stronger in the last, since the thoroughfare proposal. That really brought a lot of people out, and there was a lot of people that actually voiced that they do definitely want, came out publicly and said that we know they were out there in our meetings, we have it on tape, we have it in minutes, but that generated a lot of interest for waterfront
But I
activity.
agree, the interest is still there, and it's still, I guess, to be a priority.
The second part of my opinion here is, you're going to make this presentation to the township board, which I was authorized to do at the last township board meeting. I was put on the agenda, I made the presentation, they wouldn't assess or make a motion for us to move forward with the finances. So now what you've got is, that we're going to have to do this at the next board meeting, so now you've got two issues that need to be addressed to the board. One is this, and one is the non-motorized kayak launch. Now, how many times and how much money have we already spent talking about the non-motorized kayak launch and have done nothing? And I went to the board, and I got shot down because we didn't have a formal thing done, which I want clarification on tonight, and I plan on going to the township board, making the presentation for us to move forward on a non-motorized launch at Water's Edge. This is what I was commissioned to do by this board, and I expect to do it.
This commission was asked by the board to investigate a board launch and was voted on and approved when that whole thoroughfare thing went down.
Right?
This commission already voted on that, and then we started getting people to investigate the whole option in some kind of location at Water's Edge, north, south, and such, right?
Well, I met several times, even with township board representatives, commissioners. We've walked that site, and most of that information we received, cost estimates, were all free. The people that put in 88 kayak launches all along the Detroit River for public park and recreation departments. I have all the detail. I don't have the match. So if I have the match, I'm going for the money, believe me.
What is the board asking?
I'm trying to get the block grant approved, and I can't get it approved.
Board is, I made the motion, I asked them to make a motion to let us move forward on pursuing monies and grants to put in a kayak launch. And I gave them the pricing and all that stuff that I presented as I was instructed to do by this board. And they wouldn't do it because evidently I expected it to either come from whoever wasn't at the meeting, but you should be, they're asking now for you to make that presentation. My point is, if we go before the board looking for approval on this and approval on the kayak launch, I think there's going to be a lot of upset people because they aren't going to address the issue on the kayak launch. We collectively, my committee, has put a lot of work into this, as this Recreation Commission in the last 10, 12 years has put a lot of work into that. And I don't think that this should take second fiddle to anything since we've been working on it longer.
But I don't want to wait for an opportunity to pass. I know there's a match for this. There's people generating the match. The county helped us. But I don't have that for the kayak launch. And I would go for it. If I had it, I would have brought it forward to the commission to bring to the board. I would have definitely done that.
Okay.
I got a question about this proposal. It's on page 1, where it says the township will commit the local match of $75,000 to available 2012. What does that mean?
The local, we want $25,000 from the state. We said we'd put 75 up through our commitments from the community groups,
Right.
the recreation budget, and the county, which would be 75. We're looking for 25. We can guarantee 75, we're saying by October 1st.
Well, the township, let me understand. Grosse Hill Township Board is being asked to commit a local match of $75,000. I don't know, does that mean the township is?
No, we have to prove that we have the match. When I go up there Monday night, I'm going to say I have 50,000 from the county.
Right.
I have 2,000 in the rec budget. I have 8,000 from the Michael Horton Fund, which would be, what is that, 70, or what is it, 60? 60. I need 15,000 more. In her letter of support, supported documentation, she names the events we'll be having. Will those be the only ones? No. There'll be others before October to generate that 15,000 to get the $100,000.
And that's not the Yukon Association grant to...
Thank you. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you did. This is great. You got money from Wayne County. You're going to get money from the state. We got money from volunteers.
We're trying. It's not there yet, but
Right.
we just don't want to miss out.
Thanks.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
On your picture here, I see the Impact Rankin House all laid out. You said, can you hear me? You said something about there's space for spectators to watch?
Right.
How are you going to do that?
One thing that I thought was very important is not to shortchange the rink, because there's a lot of people that like to play competitively, and if we wanted to host some tournaments, not every weekend, we need something that's 145 feet in length to qualify under tournaments where they can go and compete with within different organizations.
So, yeah, where are you going to, I just want to know where you said you were going to put them.
Well, they'd be bleachers on the grass areas.
Okay. And then you're going to relocate the volleyball, right?
Yeah, I don't think the bleachers are a big deal, but if we have a tournament, I can bring portable bleachers in.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
I wouldn't
okay.
probably leave them there all the
But
time.
is this just a drawing, or are you really going to relocate the volleyball?
Yes, yeah, that's got to be
Because
relocated.
that gets really pretty busy, right? The volleyball?
The volleyball, but we won't do that this summer. We're not going to do anything till after mid-July.
But that does, I mean, where does the money come from? Is that in the whole grant of moving that?
Right, we'll work with contractors on that to get it moved. I'm working on that right now.
Okay, I get it. That's all I want.
Does our township insurance cover injuries? It's a very dangerous sport.
We do, at Public Recreation, we have a lot of liability. We have to do our job. If we don't, we'll hear about it.
Okay, are you going to put netting up to keep
Yes.
the golf balls away from the
Yep.
rink? Okay.
And pucks away from volleyball.
Yeah, that's why I don't want them on my number 9 hole.
Any other questions? Any questions from the community? Public? Back to the commission. All right, the resolution is to recommend this grant application be submitted to the Michigan Department of Natural Resources and Recreation Passport Grant Program for the construction of the inline and outdoor skating rink at the Water's Edge Recreation Act facility. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right. Recreation Director's Report. Centennial Farm Facility Update, Tim. Oh, no, we got,
Me.
Helena. Sorry. I forgot we moved you up.
Okay. My equestrian people over there, I got some more pictures, if they want to look at those. I want to say, I think everybody here got a thing from, kind of a synopsis from Sandra Bondar that she put together, right? Hopefully you guys did in your email. That she put together, and then I gave you guys handouts of Greg Myring used my cell phone and took more pictures. So these are from me. Sandra Bondar also did one.
You're right, in the email, I saw that.
I thought we all had one.
Lots of good pictures.
You got your pictures? You want me to put your pictures?
You got them. The only people that don't have mine are the people that were at the meeting, or at the walkthrough, because I took it to Tim yesterday to copy.
I'll do it on the overhead pictures. You want to talk about these pictures, or you want to do?
I don't want to go through every picture.
Okay.
I'm just going to go over, this is a couple of comments we did at March 10th. Leah couldn't make it, and Laura had put, they got contacted me and had previous commitments, but they would have been there. And Sue Thornton called me on the 12th to give me her input. Greg Myring, Robert Thomas, Jillian Shimko, and Sandra Bondar were there. So a big bunch of people that I consider the equestrian group. I'd have to say the first thing we all talked about was that the general first impression people got when they pulled in was a good one. That, there's routine maintenance of the farm, but everybody felt like there was a really good impression when we first came in, much better even than last year. The dog park was busy with about 4 people and 4 dogs joined it. We were there early on a Saturday morning. It was probably the first dry day that we could go out there because the weather's kept us from doing it. So the dog park was busy, and it looked like that the indoor riding arena was busy. Just the only way we could tell for sure was by the number of cars parked outside between the 2 barns. So it looked like he was busy. And then there was some kids coming in getting ready to have a birthday party in the rec building. So my impression was that the farm even was starting to get was being used, being very busy. We walked around. Let me see where I go. Most of the stuff was typical maintenance issues, and I don't know that we need to go through every single one of them because Tim's aware of it. A lot of this stuff that we addressed, we did not even know that Tim was already aware of it, like the rust that's occurring on the building.
Yeah, those should be replaced by next week, the 2 doors, the bathroom and the conservancy door.
You have to do a whole new door?
Yeah, $380 a door, but they're metal doors. We want to keep the metal doors.
Okay. And then, we've got stuff like the indoor arena rusting on the bottom, chicken coop. There's just comments. Doesn't mean all this has to be done because it's getting really small.
Well, we talked last year about the fencing.
Right.
We're going to start replacing it, the wood.
He's been painting it. I
I
don't
know
know
we're
what...
going to replace the wood with vinyl or something like that, isn't that
Well,
what
that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
That's a lot of money.
Post? Didn't we say something? We're going to do cement the post? Something to make it more...
Some of the key posts, yeah.
Okay.
So all we talked about was all farms that have fences require continual maintenance. If you use the farm, you can tell that the herb garden, that fence doesn't get hurt at all. But when you have horses and livestock, it gets used. And the ground heaving and hoeing. So we just took pictures of the fencing. I should say dumb. Simple things like the bike rack at the play area really should be put where the bikes go and not in the, I don't know why it's set there. It probably just got moved there because of the weather. Piling the logs, or the wood piles disorganized. So the general impression really is that the farm is much improved since I walked through last year. Everything that we addressed last year was addressed. The facility, I'd say, we didn't walk around the whole perimeter, and we did not go inside any facility that's not our place, really go inside and disrupt any businesses going on. The facility was dry, not like last year when we walked through. There was a lot of what do you call, wheel ruts and that sort of thing. There is an issue with the dog park and the drainage at the dog park, and Tim's already put out for bids to fix the drainage in the dog park.
The dog park, just from one contractor, is probably going to cost about $6,000. That's always been a problem there. And then you know the problem we have on the other side of the rec building.
Right.
So there's two spots, and I talked to Dale when I was at that Parkway that meeting the other night. And I think instead of just going out and nickel and dime, I really need to have specs drawn up for those two sites because the drainage is tricky. Over the years, you have to admit, the drainage has been amazing how we've cleared that up. With
Yes.
the work of Rains and contractors and things like that. But I think we need to be a little more detailed on those two. It's really tricky where that dog park is, and also by the east. But there's drainage nearby to, connect to. It's got to be done right.
Right. It's just a runoff.
What was our future plan if we moved that dog park?
We're going to leave that dog, the way I remember.
I know, that entered my mind when I drove away.
They're not moving that one. They're probably, perhaps, going to add another one.
Okay.
Well, that would still need to be done, the drainage, yeah.
Right. And I talked to Julie Cordes, our animal control officer, today. She feels that it's their responsibility to fix that fencing along the bottom so the small dogs don't sneak out. Right now, people are putting boulders and stuff along there to keep the small dogs from sneaking out. That also affects the drainage. So she feels it's their responsibility as Tails and the animal shelter, they're going to fix that.
Well, with Julie being part-time, one thing that I did along with the staff last year, we tried to do more with the dog park. Some of the volunteers would call us. We fixed some of the screening below there. We painted all that last year for them, too, which I think should be a part of the farm budget. So we're going to be doing a lot more to support the police department and Tails with that budget, because it's there for that also.
All right, we're going to kind of jump around here, but when I talked to Julie today, they have 3 dogs that are adoptable and 20 cats. They just lifted their quarantine. We had a quarantine because there was a little sniffle, what we call snorking, going on, and we didn't want it going through the whole place. And as of April 1st, Julie goes full-time. As of May 1st, they're planning on going back to 2 hours of the place being open, 2 to 3 hours per day. She said Monday through Friday, it'll be 10 to 11. So anybody wants to go adopt pets, Monday through Friday after May 1st, 10 to 11 and 2 to 3. And then on Thursday, they'll be open from 5 to 7 and Saturday from 12 to 2. So they're packed with animals. They're opening their quarantine, so they should all be healthy. And she's going full-time. Sue Thornton, when she called me, she had some concerns about any vandalism. Obviously, she's with the herb garden, and there was some issues there that our pictures show that it's all cleaned up. But I did talk to Chief Porcerelli, and he's going to ramp up the surveillance of the place to more than what it is right now. And I was hoping that someone from, maybe later, from the Equestrian Center, they are always really good. From the Equine Club had a good horse show. That 150 people show up, and 150 people showed, 300 people showed up to watch. It was a student lesson. The students had their own horse show. And Rob put it on, had, provided the horses and all that, so he did his own
That's a
horse
real
show.
good turnout.
That's a really good turnout. And apparently the Equestrian Club keeps growing in size. And I always have, every meeting I'm here, I have people from the club come here. So I can't speak for when I'm not here, but it's growing. And I was hoping that they're going to do Sandra told me they're planning and she'll have to come up and tell you for sure, some sort of trip somewhere in July. In downtown Detroit with the club. People are doing a lot of, it's growing, and they're doing a lot of different events. What else? I wanted to say, my opinion is that this is a really unique facility, and we have a lot of different people using the facility, and there's no, there's no person overseeing them all together that's pulling, and that's the boss of the whole thing besides Tim, and that it seems like they're doing a really good job. I believe a really good job. The place is getting better, it's growing, people are using it, and they're all getting along.
Outstanding.
So I'm proud of it.
Any questions? for her?
I got one.
Yes.
Helena,
Yes.
what was the results of the pop bottle fundraiser?
Oh, boy. You know, he's Mr. Numbers. I haven't got a clue.
I mean,
I can ask
More than
Julie.
$1.
A lot of money.
I saw a lot of them going in there. And are they still accepting them?
Oh, I don't know. I'll bet they'll accept any
I
donation.
mean, they'll probably
Yeah.
take anything on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anyone from the public? Ethel?
I just have a question about the tile in the building. It says in North End, there's a bad one in the center, and 2 people tripped on it the other day.
That was, Sandra put that in her thing. But like I say, we did not go inside the buildings. So we did not inspect inside the buildings. It's, for one, it's not right for us to go and disrupt business. There was a little girl coming in to have her, she was turning 4, her birthday party in the rec building, so they were setting up. You know, so we didn't walk around, look inside the building, and then she was going to go over and they were going to do pony rides later too. So, I mean, she was pretty happy about it.
That sounds pretty awesome, right?
Yeah, I would like to be for it.
All right, anything from the public? I guess.
Yes.
Sandra Bonder, 20594 Canal Drive. And we do have
Raise the mic, please.
a lot of things going on for the Groseal Equestrian Club. The first thing is on May 12th, we have our spring cleanup at Centennial Farm scheduled. So if anybody out there wants to come on out and help us, it'll be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and we will also have pizza served. So come on out and help us. On May 19th is the Herb Fest, which is from the Herb Society. And then also Saturday, June 2nd, is the Island Fest Parade. So we're planning on going in the parade again, and hopefully we will have Bucky the pony in the back of the cart again. That was lots of fun. Saturday, July 14th, we are going to the Apasana, if I said that correctly. It's a wonderful horse show with magnificent horsemanship, and this is down at the Joe Louis Arena. We got special seats, so it's going to be lots of fun. And then we were planning on going somewhere for dinner afterwards, so if you want a ticket, give us a call, or go into our website, which is giequestrianclub.org. And then also, we are getting ready to kick off our mini horse camps, which is in August, and they are already filling up.
Could you tell me a little about the horse, like for students or for novice, or what is it?
The mini horse camps are from 6 years of age and up. So we have lots of people. I would have to say, usually the biggest or oldest ones are usually around 13, 14, then they start feeling funny. But we have lots of stuff. They paint the horses, they ride the horses every day, they learn safety, they do crafts, they have the big air bouncy balloon thing. There are 2 camps, the Monday through Wednesday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And they're 3 days a week, so they're lots of fun. We had them last year, and we try to hold it down to like 20 kids is our max, and we ended up having 25 to 30 in each one, because it's hard to say no to these kids after a while, or the parents. So,
Sandra, can I kind of put something out for you guys to investigate? But I'm getting the feeling from my friend here that if you did something for the adults, beginners, somehow, somewhere in your group thing, that you might get a surprising turnout. There you go. He wants to stand next to a horse.
yes,
He doesn't want to sit on it.
Come on, Mike, you're kind of
Paige Miller, Bayview Drive. Just real quickly, you mentioned the adults. We do have adult things planned for the fall. We're going to do an adult trip to the racetrack out in Northville Downs. And I know last year we did get some adults that did our clinic, just the horseman, intro to horses clinics, and they did have a great time. There was a small number of them, and we do have that on the radar to do those again. We had a little scheduling difficulty, so it didn't happen this winter, but hopefully this fall. The other thing I'd like to know is that we did both for the camps last year, and for some of our other events, we actually get a lot of Roseville grandparents and seniors who use this as a great opportunity to bring their grandkids who may not even live here. Last year we had probably half a dozen grandparents who had their grandchildren come and stay with them for those 3 days, and they brought the kids over for their 4 hours to come and do the camp, and then they got to spend time with Grandma and Grandpa, you know, afterwards in the afternoon. It was kind of a fun thing for them to do. Yep, and then when we did the when we did the student horse show recently, we also had, because we had advertised that this was happening, we had quite a few senior citizens that came just to watch the show. You know, we had people sitting next to you, and you'd say, "Oh, are you here to watch Grandchild?" "Oh, no, I just saw it in the paper, and I like the horses." And we had another lady that came, saw we had tables, had her husband bring over a bunch of envelope stuffing projects. She sat there all day and stuffed her envelopes and watched the horses and had a great old time. And so even though we think that it's all kids here, we're actually drawing in, you know, other people from the community are appreciating the horses and the firemen, and they're coming, bringing their kids and their grandkids for lots of different things. So I just wanted to...
Well, you guys are really making a buzz around there.
And one little thing that we do is we have a ladies group that we ride every Monday at 1 o'clock. So it's just us moms, no kids. And then the last thing...
That must be on the QT or something, down low or something.
No kids, no kids. That's right. One thing I mentioned, when Joe Porcerelli was talking about the cameras, the video cameras, is there any way we could...
I'm talking to him about it.
Okay. So this doesn't happen again, because these ladies worked so hard on that children's garden.
I talked about that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, any more questions about Centennial Farm? All right, Marina facility update. Mr. Swales, I guess you had an inspection or walkthrough?
Well, real quick, we did have our walkthrough on Saturday, March 10th with Dock Master Bob Lang, Mark Fisso, Tim Root, and myself. A lot of maintenance work needs to be done. We have a great list. We have money in the budget, so I'm expecting, Tim, that all this work will get done throughout the course of the spring. Tim, just nod your head. Yeah, that work's going to get done. I mean, the work on this list is going to get done.
Yeah, I'll show you in a second.
Okay, good. I want to remind all our voters, our Marina members, that the payment is due by March 23rd. If you want to secure your dock, you got to make your payment. So I think if you don't make your payment by tomorrow, then you don't secure your dock because someone else might get it. The last thing I want to ask Tim is, I think I read that company that disposed of the shrink wrap last year is not doing that again this year.
They're gone, but we're going to still gather.
So if we can find somebody, I sure would like to not think we're going to have to put all that shrink wrap, polyethylene in a landfill.
No, I was talking to Brian about that today. We're going to continue the same plan of how you roll it up and stack it at the far end, and I'm going to search near and far. For the company that did Michigan's and Ohio, they said it's cost prohibitive. They gave it up. So there's the recycle, and they serviced everybody in our region for the state. Just because they were from Ohio doesn't mean that it wasn't the Michigan service, so.
Have you checked with, excuse me, Tim, but have you checked with our waste management people? Because I wad mine up and tie it up and put it in my trash.
No, we were going to try to, no, I have not, but we were going to try to follow through and see what we could do.
They take it. He takes it. Now, over at the boat club, at least at Elbomar, you cannot leave it there, and you can't put it in their dumpster.
Right, no, we don't want it in dumpsters. That's why we continue the same plan, but we're going to find a place.
Do they take it as trash or recycle?
No, well, we had it recycled. I want it recycled. I don't want it to end up in a landfill. So we got to keep looking to find.
Yeah, I need help finding a source.
To do that.
But we're not going to throw it in the dumpsters. We're going to hang on to it
Yeah, you can't.
and see if we can recycle it.
So that's, water's high, I'm looking forward to a good boating season, that's the end of my report.
Any questions for Mike? Well, that was short and sweet there, Mike. What happened?
Looks like Louisville's up 2018 at the, near the end of the first half.
Oh, well, that's not a good update, thank you.
What, they get the Avon Arena?
That means our press isn't working that well.
By 10.
Two.
Oh, 2, at least in 2018.
2018.
Okay.
The key to Louisville is they try to knock you out early with the press. They didn't do it. The Michigan State will win.
Oh, right.
Thank you.
Facility update, general overview, Mr. Rooney.
I just wanted to get back to the Centennial Farm. We very seldom, probably jinx myself, get complaints from the public that go through the barns, tour the herb garden. I just want to give credit to the Equestrian Club and the Lutons, because I don't get complaints. They feel very welcome, the general public. I don't know if any of you ever have, but you have a lot of freedom walking through there. So they really kind of work as agents to the farm and what it's all about. So I just want to thank, Rob and his family in the Equestrian Center. They do a tremendous job. We just don't get a lot of complaints. People feel welcome there. So wanted to mention that. Same thing goes with Bob Lang in the marina. Very welcoming, very helpful, and we get a lot of that up at the pro shop when people stop by. They talk about him and the job that the people do with our members down there. So I think we do a good job along those lines. Did you guys get a...
Bob smiling and being friendly, huh?
He had a great walkthrough.
I walked away from Mike and I go, what's wrong today? He didn't find too many things.
That's good.
Anyway, I wanted to reference the annual report real quick. This will be given out at the annual meeting. I want you to go to page 56. It's this document right here. Now, I'm not whining or complaining. We do have 3 full-time staff for everything we do. We try to contract, we do the, like I say, the run and shoot offense to take care of a lot of things. We want to be safe. But if you look at the projects, last year we had walkthrough. It's in the annual report. Did you get a copy there?
Does it say annual?
It's the community recreation one.
I'm just trying to...
I put it on your copy, everyone.
Oh, I thought I got it.
What you should have in front of you. Well, I'm sure you do too.
Yep, I have one, yep.
Okay.
The staff, we don't just regurgitate. I mean, there's some things you have to repeat in your annual report because they're facilities and, steady operations, those type of things. But we try to put things in that happen throughout the year. And if you go to the project list on page 56, if you remember the marina walkthrough from last year, you remember the farm walkthrough, the golf committee, and the things that were important to them. Did we get everything done? No. We're, small staff, rainy season. But if you looked at how long were we trying to get the leveling of 7T done? The staff did a great job on that. And then just the different items. The farm, the drainage that was there forever. It shouldn't have gone on that long, but having these committees, Walt, with you assigning people to each facility, it pushes us. I mean, we talk about it in public, but it really helps us get the projects done. It gives us a goal. Do we get everyone? No, but we want to be safe. We want to achieve these projects. Playscape's going to be a real big thing. It just drives us nuts. I think if you go around, we probably have the best treated playscape in the area. I was there in the beginning when they were trying to sell the facility, the organizing group, the volunteers, they said it probably lasts 20 years. We're going on 22 years right now. So we're trying to do a good job, but there's a lot of different things going on. But if you look at things, if you go back to your reports from last year, we got probably over 60% of the things and the key safety issues done. And then on page 59, kind of touching on what Bill mentioned about, we're going to list our performance objectives for the whole year, and we're graded out on them. We're going to put them there. Are there some repeats? Yeah, we didn't get the parking lot done. We wanted to get it done. I could complain about it. I could point fingers. We didn't get it done.
You brought it up, but I mean, a lot of that was not our doing.
Right, but we're not going to complain about that. We're going to keep working at that.
When is it going to happen, the parking lot?
May.
Okay.
By May, it'll be done, both. Okay. But I wanted to, the big problem with the waterfront, and it drives me out of my mind, and When you come from a place like Ludington, I don't want to go back to that again, the waterfront's a draw. It can build the community, but we seem to struggle on areas that we can really promote, that are public, that are open, that we can manage, we can secure, and we can welcome everybody. We got to go for that. And I agree with Bill 100%. I've worked hard on that. I've got resources just waiting. I need the match. I'm trying to find the match. I call people back quite often to get the match, but did I take it off the list? It's still on that objective list. So I want to point that out. And then on page 61, under the farm, let me see if I can swear that as. I hope that's on there. Also, different groups that we use on the farm, I think that got cut off, but there's like probably 20-some community groups that use the facility on a regular basis at the farm. I think that was another page that got cut off. But anyway.
61 you talking about?
No, I think that said he's missing it.
Yeah, there should be another section there that lists all the different groups. I think it got cut off in the main report. But I can provide that to you.
The equestrian center, and there's a whole lot more.
Yeah, the equestrian center, see how that's expanded with the equestrian club. The basic services are there. They were doing a lot over the year, throughout the year. But then with the volunteer community group being involved and running the camps and supporting the equestrian operation, it's like magnified with that gem that is.
I have a question. You just made me think of something. The office that we have at the farm for the Conservancy, we're supposed to put together some programs and stuff like this. Did it ever come to fruition?
Yeah, we've offered different programs throughout the year, summer things, but they didn't seem to click. Like Discovery Camp, we've trail hikes, flowers, wildflowers, tour, interpretive type things. They're in the old channels.
Okay.
No, they're always there to offer that, but some things haven't caught on. They do a lot of their independent programming there, too. They did a OWL series last fall, and they had to repeat it twice. Offered the first one, and then they had to do two more. It was packed. But that was service. We didn't necessarily need to be there. We provided the facility, and we got out of their way, and they ran the program. So I just wanted to point out that the staff works really hard on the annual report. We just don't regurgitate. We want to show that things are getting done, and we're listening to the commission and the community and the board. Also, on your moving on, we have a new golf pro. He's a PGA certified pro. I provided his background. It's this one here. Everyone should have gotten it. He comes with a lot of experience. He's from Trenton. We're still going to use Brian Hoke. He'll be doing some work on the golf course, range, pro shop, helping out and supporting.
Little kids too?
No, the PGA Pro is Mike, the new person.
But he'll do the little program too?
Right. If you follow up, he was in the private group and junior lessons he handles by himself are on the next page behind his background. And then all the programs that we've been trying to build in our golf lesson center, the junior golf program, the Little Chippers preschool, youth and teen. He's already gotten kids from Flat Rock and Trenton. He's out there. Where Brian was more involved with school year during the year, but very affordable, very motivating, very kid-oriented. Mike also is, but he has more time. So this is a little bit of a transition. I'm telling you, with this weather, the PGA Pro, pounding away at these programs. If the golf course doesn't do it this year, I'm going to be shocked. We have a very good operation there, and the volunteer committee helping the staff. So, but there's all the programs. We're going to get them out early this year. Channels is going to be out in mid-April, not beginning of May.
How are we doing with the pool? Who's taking over for the pool?
Pool is Paula, and Mark and Paula. Mark's working with the sheriff department down by the Irish Hills now.
Okay,
He's
so
like their head.
Paula now, so Paula's taking
But Paula did it one year when he was going to Michigan State, went to Spain. Paula did it, and same credentials, and would be very fine. And we also had a couple students from Grosse Ile that were lifeguards, ones at Michigan State. She would easily fill in as the aquatic supervisor under Paula as the aquatic coordinator.
Okay. What's Paula's last name?
Paula Dobson.
D-O-B?
D-O-B-S-O-N.
All right, any more questions on this?
Tim, is Mike Violatel connected with Violatel Buick?
Not sure.
Huh? Maybe we got Buick?
I'll invite him in to give a talk.
Kind of long to do it.
All in one at the hole,
Tim, is the pro at the golf course, is that a township paid position?
No, it's contracted, independent contractor.
But we do pay out of our budget, not the...
I mean, he gets paid.
Correct, it's a paid, you're right, paid service, right? We hire him.
It's assigned to whatever, we're not going to take a loss on the program. He does his private lessons, that's pretty typical for all golf courses. And then there's percentages built in. The groups, we get a little bit, the group lessons, we get a little bit less money, but the kid programs, like the little chippers, I should have given you the breakdowns. We receive a little more money, and he's very good to work with us, because golf pros can be a little tricky on the kind of
We've lived
service.
through...
Yeah.
Thank you.
But he's very motivated to work with children, and I like that, because that's the group we got to build, because we don't have as many golfers anymore, so.
Bill, you want to add something?
Yeah, Tim, something just occurred to me as I'm going down this list. I see you have that skating thing in there. One thing that occurred to me is, remember when we put in the basketball court, we messed up our watering line that goes to the pond on number 9? Is this going to interfere with any underground plumbing?
No, that's why the switch is made where you'll see, on that drawing, you'll see where the water line is.
That's what we recommended, okay.
Yeah, I just didn't, yeah.
All right, just wanted to clarify that.
All right, so what else do we got? We got budget update, you already went through that, programs.
Well, like I said, I met with the officers of the board, and then we went on TV and presented the entire budget, and then I gave you guys a summary. Like, there's not a lot of play in the budget like there is every year. We want to get those parking lots done, want to get the pool boiler fixed.
And then maintain our current property.
And maintain. I mean, our staff has been cut, but we're still expanding programs, so people want programs, and we've expanded, I mean, as the rec department, we haven't gone the other way, we've gone expansion with less staff and less money, so there's got to be somewhere there but like Walt just said, we got to worry about maintaining things, and then we need that community support if we want to build on other areas, I think.
Tim, do you know who's in charge of the bicycle and pedestrian commission? Off the top of your head. He's not-
Eric Ranka's the trustee, the liaison,
Okay,
and then I know Brian Pollock serves on it, but I don't believe he's the chair. I'm trying to...
So that's a real commission now, huh?
Yes.
Is it like the bike path then? Is that the bike paths, or?
I don't think they've geared up totally. I know they're meeting, but I think probably as we get into the warmer weather months, probably more discussion.
No, but I mean, are they going to deal with the bike path? Is that what they're doing? They deal with the bike path, or no?
I don't think the day-to-day maintenance. I think, planning and future projects,
Okay.
and, working with DPS.
Okay.
That's what I think.
All right, so any more questions for Tim on any of his items?
Tim, have you been approached by anybody, or have you approached any other rec departments, say, in Riverview or partnerships?
Yep, we do the Tri-City Softball League.
Okay.
Yeah, I just met with Todd and Joanne last week. We're doing that together. We'll probably do their budget's hurting, and both Todd and I said we'd take a night on in our field, but I got to work with Jair on their baseball schedule.
Okay. I'm thinking of also, besides programming, but special events or trips or that sort of thing.
Yeah, we do share trips with them, but we usually go over to the Westfield, the board. We do the swim club with Trenton. We do the SNAP program, the program for people with disabilities. We do that with them.
Okay.
There's others. That's not just, there's others, it's not coming to the top of my head.
And do we keep the cost to the people who go on these events down as far as long as they're in the township, our township, or?
They'd be the same as any other community on the trips, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't increase it. The key is to try to fill those buses.
Okay.
We used to be able to fill them on occasional trips, but now it's been tough, hasn't it, Ethel, the trips?
She says yes.
Yes.
You okay? Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Tim.
All right, any more questions for Tim? All right, everyone says good job over there, Tim.
Okay.
All right, right, number 7, old business, update kayak launch subcommittee, Morrow. I want to hear about how you got railroad.
Wow, it is working now. I made a presentation to the township board based on the presentation I made to our board here, and they were receptive of all the information I gave them. The thing that we don't actually know at this point is how much money we have or may have to play with. And what I did is I drew up and made pictures of the facility over at Water's Edge, and showed 3 different sites. One of the sites was the last 5-year plan, where it showed the big walkway out where the gazebo was and all that stuff, which I think is a great thing, but that's going to be over top as far as monies go, especially as tight as we are. But there are 2 other locations, as I mentioned to you. The one that I expanded and did some physical work on, going down, looking at it, and consulting, is the one at the south end of the facility where the property dips in. That really is a very ideal place. I took some flotation on a string devices and threw them in the water, and it's a natural eddy where the water flows by the marina and then makes a nice little gentle eddy there at the south end of the property. I could show you that, but I don't want to take all that time. The other area that really is ideal, where there's a natural eddy also without any construction of anything other than the abutment of the bridge, causes that to be a nice mild area. And I looked at that and consulted, and using the north ramp walkway where the hoist goes up and down, there's that walkway that's next to it. If we were to attach and adjacent to that an angle that goes straight toward the bridge, being straight north, and then use an east-west walkway ramp, sort of an angular ramp, but then a straight, we could actually put the kayak launch right in there. And what's nice about that is that it's a very close access to the water, to the canal.
Yeah.
However, that creates a little bit of a congestion for the hoist, and the parking is pretty jammed up in there. So going back down to the south end, we would do basically the same thing, is shore up the shore part, and then, make an east-west access with a north-south part that would make it easy to launch a non-motorized, whether it's a canoe or boat or kayak. And personally, I think we could make that with some physical work and some volunteers as we do the golf course, and maybe a little help from the Marina Committee. We could put that in for, I think, less than $10,000, and that $10,000 would be money that we would collectively have to raise with no burden to the community, because of the finances. Financial situation is pretty dire. So I think we can get that done, and I proposed that to the board. However, they wouldn't give me the go-ahead to pursue the Kellogg Corporation and all the other people that we had talked about, the Friends of the Detroit River. I wanted their permission to go ahead and pursue it, to see how much money we could generate, and we would put in a facility that I think would be usable. And also, as I did before in making my presentation here, there is a lot that we can do at Water's Edge that can't be done anywhere else, like renting bikes and renting golf carts and accessing our bike paths, and again, there's so much that can go on down there, and it's a very, very safe and a very reasonable, and I think an ideal spot to start. This doesn't preclude us from moving to some other area. However, I don't, if you take a look at what was happening before, and maybe I'm speaking out of school, but they tried to put that one, or talk about putting the one on the canal, and I keep mentioning to the township board that I live on that canal, and that canal is only like 4 feet wide when you're getting into July, with grass on both sides, so boats really have to hug the grassy area to pass on the canal. And I would just think that if anybody were ever to be in that grass and flip over in a kayak, you'd never come up because of the grass. And I know for a fact that we've had quite a few children on the canal. I don't mean dozens, I'm talking about a few children who have actually drowned jumping off those bridges and into the grass and never came up. And it's I think we've had two in the last, probably in the last 10 years that's happened, or maybe more. I don't quote me on that, but I do know it's happened. So the canal is not really the most ideal. The canal also raises, with a wind shift, can raise 4 feet. But Joe, I think, hit the nail on the head. How do you police something that far off the road, and you know it's going to be used by the public, and who knows what the public is going to do back in that facility? This way, we have the motor launch right there, which is automatically policed on a regular basis. And like you said, Tim, we have the backing of this waterway system, all the letters you gave me. I think we need to pursue it, and I want this board to make that presentation at the next board meeting, saying that this is sanctioned by our board, and that we would like to move forward on it, and we would like to get the go-ahead from them to pursue getting these grants and getting the funding secured, and move forward on at least putting it in where it's most logically needed and used. And it also opens up a very large area, and I've sat at these meetings where they were talking about the road end down at the end of Parkway. What surprises me is the people that come home and say, we have no water access. But what they don't realize is that the waterway, except for the docks at the marina, on the docks, all that waterfront, all the boardwalk, all the tent, the benches, all of that is for the public to use. So they can watch boats go by and do what needs to be done in this community. And they're welcome to come down and do that. And we have ample parking to do it. And we have the restaurant, we have the pool, we have all those things there that the public can really enjoy. And we also have not only the tent down in the lower area, but we have that big pavilion that we built up there that really doesn't get utilized as much as it should. And it's a free facility for us to go ahead and move and use.
So what should we do? We should have a motion here to pursue grant opportunities?
We already made the motion. I've got it. We made the motion on January 26th. What?
I agree.
Yeah, we already made the motion. They just need something from either you or UDA to get them to make the motion for us to go ahead and move forward.
I've never heard of such a thing, Tim.
No, I think we could go back if we had the match. We could have them consider.
No, what we're saying is I wanted permission.
Okay, I was sick that night. I didn't make the board
I
meeting.
want the permission for them to give us the go-ahead to pursue the Kellogg Corporation, the Downriver, all the list
Great
of...
opportunities, that's all he's asking.
Yeah, that's all we're asking. And if we don't come up with the money, then we don't come up with the money. But I want to see what's in it from them, and that's all I asked for. But they said, no, it had to come from Walt.
And I know.
So I have no idea, since I was authorized by a board vote to bring that to the board. So I intend to talk to Brian Loftus the next opportunity I get and say, I still don't understand what happened at the meeting.
Well,
You gave the go-ahead to the Boy Scouts, but you didn't give the go-ahead.
let's do it again, just so there's no argument,
What's that?
Let's go back and,
I'm going to talk to Brian and see what verbally do you need from us, or physically, that didn't allow you guys to vote on giving us the go-ahead to pursue it. That's what I want to know from Brian, and that's what I'll do.
You said Lucia was not present?
She wasn't.
She's our liaison.
Yeah, she was present at the board meeting, but she wasn't present here when I gave the presentation to you guys.
Did she not provide some liaison at the township meeting?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, not that she wasn't doing her job, I'm just saying...
But there was no, extra support to try and get...
When I asked for the motion to be brought forward, they said, no, we can't do that because we haven't heard from Walt.
Let's do a motion, someone present a motion that says...
I got it.
I say let's do it again. No?
Do it again.
I don't know that we need a motion. We've already said we're going to do it. It's not that we need a little support at the next township meeting.
So you just need to take that motion and write up a thing, or go to the board meeting and say, look, we've already voted on this. We want your permission to go ahead and proceed.
We're doing the budget, right?
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Well, we have permission to go out and look for grant sources, it's just we got to secure them. They want to know when we get to their level that we have everything in place. And that's what's tricky about the thing on October 1st. Remember when we went before on a couple of grants? I'm not saying just the current board, they want to make sure that funding's in place, or there's contingency. If it doesn't pan out, you pull back. That's what I think they're getting at. I wasn't at the meeting, though, but I've never felt that I can't go out and search for public grants and report back to the rec commission and then to the township board. I mean, I feel that I can do that, to provide you guys with the information, and if I'm creative enough to find the sources, we bring that to them. I just don't think we have the match, but I wasn't at that meeting, Bill.
But wait a minute, I'm still confused here. I mean, I don't think we need permission to go look for grant opportunities, right?
Right.
We need the board's permission if monies are involved. If
They want to see the detail that we can come through with the match money if we're going out for other money, because there's a lot
So
of...
do we have the details on this Kellogg grant you're talking about then? We don't have no...
We can't get the match to go for that. We need something to
We need a
spur
match.
that. And I've been looking for it, and Bill and I went over that, but,
Yeah, and I talked to a close friend of the people at Wyandotte to find out what the actual procedure was and the cost for the facility they have in Wyandotte. So I'm still working on that part of it. So let me make my contacts to him and also to Brian and find out from his point of view, what was he actually, because it wasn't clear to me why they just didn't say, okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'll do the same thing.
I don't understand it.
That's the big night too, Bill, the annual meeting thing, so...
Okay.
Walter,
Yes, Uncle.
do you think that the board's thing was because Bill is a subcommittee of the committee, that they prefer someone like yourself to present it instead of a...
I wouldn't think so.
Well, that's it. I listened to it on the television, and that was kind of the thought that I received from some of the things that they said. But yeah, they did kind of turn him down.
Oh, lucky that he wasn't an official, but he's the vice chair, though, for Pete's sake.
But I'm just using that as maybe one of the reasons why they wouldn't.
Well, instead of getting a hold of everybody, I'll fill in, I'll talk to Brian Loftus, our chief guy that was running the meeting that said, no, we need something else. I'll find out what that something else is, and I'll talk to you, and I'll talk to you.
Okay.
And then we'll move forward.
yeah, I hope I didn't give you the wrong information, but that's what I think they might be looking for, is more detail, and that there's...
Bill, I just want to make comment from the Marina Subcommittee. I too think that Water's Edge Marina is the right place for this. The north end is ideal, the south end is ideal. Just a couple comments. I feel strongly that when people bring their kayaks down there, when we finally get this set up, they're going to have to park back up in the parking lot, because in the summer it's a very busy place with Marina members. And I also just want to have you understand the feeling that the Marina members are spending a couple $1,000s to be there. And there's a line of public and private, and it is public, but you just kind of got to appreciate there's 55 or 60 people that are spending big money to be there, and I want to bring the public there, but I'm thinking at least their vehicles might have to go back up the hill after they place their kayak, drop it off, because when they go back up the hill, I think they might pay a couple bucks.
That's not a
anyhow.
problem.
Yeah,
That's not a problem. And also, it
But
came
look at
up,
our support overall, because it's the right thing to do.
it also came up that one of the trustees mentioned, will there be a charge to use the facility? And I think just like you guys are charged to use the facility, there should be some token charge. If a guy comes up and spends a day at Sharky's or golf or anything, he pays $5. So there, somewhere between $0 and $5, there should be some sort of a cost associated with using that facility.
Or your own pass, anything,
Yeah.
you know? So, all right. Moving on, subcommittee updates, open space and greenways committee update, Shelkey, anything to report?
No.
Golf committee update, Moreau, anything short to report?
Short to report, yeah. Because of the water and the weather, it's just been so crazy, we weren't able to do anything on the pond on number 3. We're going to try some other ideas. We're going to run that when our committee gets together with Tim, and we're going to, but as Tim pointed out, we were able to get the T flattened finally on number 7. The grass seems to be growing well. I went over there and looked. However, the deer took a big chomp out of our 7 arborvitaes, and we're not sure that they're going to make it through the season, so we may have to rethink what gets planted there.
And the coyote doing a number on the green.
What's that? Yeah, those were donated by the Senior Golf League, and we thought it would be a good protection for the people teeing off on number 6, protecting them from people who stray ball from tee off on number 3. So we're going to rethink that, but other than that, we're open, we're ready to go, we got golf carts, and the course looks great. I mean, like I said last year, when we shut that puppy down, we were ready to go in the spring, and we are ready.
And that's because of the golf subcommittee, big time. I mean, the staff at golf subcommittee.
So we'll be having that meeting just to give ourselves a little bit of a critique,
yeah.
but the course is in great shape.
We're going like we would in April here already?
Oh, yeah, we're going.
Well, we are designed to run with part-time and volunteers on the golf course.
Yeah.
But we had to open early. I have to tell you, Mark Tissot and Annette Pulse, we wouldn't be able to, adjust like we did with record-breaking, all-time record-breaking. We just didn't want to sit there and say, no, we don't open April 1st. Everybody's putting in extra time and really doing it, especially the 2 full-time and
Did
not
anybody
Mark.
golf in February, by the way? Was anybody golfing in February?
Not much.
There was people out there, but we couldn't charge them.
There's usually a couple that want to prove they can do it, and that's fine.
Because the greens were soft, so, thank you.
All right, Airport Recreation Area, Marion, Greg's gone. Senior Citizens, Ethel. My favorite part.
Oops. Yeah, I don't have very much tonight, other than that seniors have a couple of questions, if you don't mind. Several seniors and others have asked why the township, or possibly a business, does not sponsor a large commercial shredding company to come to the island. It'd be a big help to everyone with their large amounts of records and whatever. And I understand they've called the township hall a few times and never had any response. So they asked me if I would bring that. And of course, it doesn't have anything to do with the recreation department. Also, with the chairs, is there any further thought to improving the chairs in there?
Yes,
From the
that's
present
on my
metal
mind.
folding chairs, because they keep asking.
Yep, the padded chairs.
And then, when we've been there a few
Oh, we
times
do.
in this nice weather, and the youngsters are coming in from the playground, and we ask them why, because they're wandering around, and they come in to get a drink. So is there any possibility of an outside fountain for them?
It's in the dog park area.
Well, if it's there, they don't know about it, so I will be happy to tell them. Thank
No,
you.
I was just kidding.
No,
Well, I think
You don't have a drinking fountain over there?
it's inside.
It's inside, Walter.
Well, that's the, they're asking for Porter Johns too.
Yeah. These are just things that people ask for.
No, that's,
And the only other thing that I have is just that we're still playing pinochle. We have a tournament on the first Thursday of every month, and then we play cards on the third Thursday. And the meetings are on the second and fourth Tuesdays at Centennial Farm at 11:15. The coffee hour programs, cards, special lunches, and lots of things to do. So come and visit us. Thank you.
Thank you. We don't have no outdoor drinking fountains over there.
no.
Okay. Schools, Conroy.
Not much. What I got is, tomorrow, or Saturday, there's going to be a fundraiser for Gyra Baseball at the Pilot House, euchre tourney. I think it's $25 a piece at 7 p.m. That's it. I mean, it's great that the weather's so good because sports are full speed ahead.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Playscape, I guess we already covered it, unless you got some net.
Oh, just a quick thing. The chipper that one of our island residents has should be out and available for use in a few weeks because where he has it stored is kind of still a little bit wet. But he made a suggestion that maybe what we could do is all that brush and small trees we were going to take out, if we could get that cut ahead of time
Okay.
and stacked up, then when the chipper is available, we can just bring it in and kind of do one fell swoop. And I'd just like to say a thank you to Chief Porcelli for coming to the meeting tonight.
All right, thank you. Extended public comment. Any public comment?
Yes, I have a public comment. Tim, I noticed on cable that there's a whole bunch of advertising going on. I didn't see anything on Water's Edge.
Yeah.
I see the other golf courses, but nothing on Water's
Okay.
Edge. Is that
Your
something
buddy
you can...
Ted doesn't put nothing on
I
there?
can't blame that on him. Maybe we didn't do our job.
Well, it just occurred to me. I'm looking and I'm seeing...
He's usually asking for information. No, there should be.
Yeah, we should put, especially our new rates are on there and everything else, and the course is ready to go, and come on down, let's
Yep.
fire it up.
Well, the rates are on the webpage, all that was
Okay.
provided.
Okay. I just thought I'd point that out.
Nope, you're right.
All right, individual commissioner comments. Conroy.
I went with the Riverview folks to Soaring Eagle, and it was a great time. We left at like 7:30 in the morning and got back about 11 o'clock at night. And there was a great Irish dancing, step, and singing and comedian show. There was about 40 people on the bus. Worked out great.
You said they stopped at a couple other communities?
Yeah, we stopped at 13 Mile and Groesbeck, picked up people, and also at Dearborn, the train station, Amtrak. Also, just want to echo a little bit what Tim was talking about earlier with the kids and families showing up at the playground at the Centennial Center. Since I spend so many hours there with ping pong, I see all kinds of kids and families coming up to the stables and looking at the horses running around. And the horses are especially frisky these days. Saw one the other day knock down some of the fence and really romping around, and I think people really got a good kick out of that, seeing all the horses run.
All right.
Thanks again, Tim, for doing what you do.
Okay, thank you.
Swales, anything else? Yops? Anything else? Ryan, anything else? Woodward Ryan?
Oh, me? No. I know who's Ryan. What's that?
Magron? Anything else? Ann?
Nope, anything, no.
No?
No, I think I've talked enough.
Shoki?
Nothing, thank you.
All right, voluntary community, good night, everybody, motion to adjourn. Bill, second. Conroy. You want something to add? You want something to add?
No, I was just motioning for our equestrian thing.
Oh, we got a question out there?
No, she's coming up to talk to me personally.
Oh, okay. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Good evening.